Hey, out there, internet, wonderful YouTube people. I don't know if you're wonderful, I really don't. We are your bearded brothers, and we are back with yet another sports podcast. I am No Pants Matt.
I am definitely wearing pants, Chris.
And we are back here to talk yet another week of wonderful sports news, and I guess the week of upsets in football, because
This was a wild week, dude.
it was super wild. Like,
Nothing. Honestly, our predictions made fucking jack shit because like everything just
if I looked
this
at it,
week
I think,
nothing happened the way I think anything was.
well,
gonna
I
work.
think
Like,
I did beat you, but I don't think it matters because those might be the only 3 games I got right.
I was gonna say I think we got collectively the majority of them wrong.
Oh yeah, this was one of those weeks where you just went, what?
What happened this week?
Huh? So on the docket,
it just reminds me. It reminds me if you haven't seen it yet. Tom Grassi posted a video on if the NFL was scripted for Week 7.
oh my god, yeah, no,
it's
the guy
pretty
was
good. It's
so
pretty good.
mad. Like, the scripter was so mad. He's like, you know what?
You know what? All in 1-5 teams win. What? They win?
The best
Oh,
one
the
was
Cardinals
like,
come up. We win a game?
We
Except for you,
win?
Cardinals.
Except for you.
Oh.
I feel really bad for the Panthers too, because this felt
Or
like
the Lions. Your score line's gonna be 32-6. Oh, I'll take that win. No, you won't. Oh, you're gonna be the old Lions, not the old Lions.
Oh Lord. But you know what was still great to me was going back and watching the Grossi Pernicast when the Denver Broncos were playing the Packers, and watching.
I didn't watch that, but I heard.
Oh my God! Watching Perna realize that the Packers were gonna lose to his Broncos.
I saw his video on it this morning where he was just like, "Ha! We finally have dragged another team down into the abyss with us. We can both suck together.
We can suck together." So I was gonna say on the docket today, do the Packers now suck?
I don't know if they fully suck, but they definitely have issues. They have lots of issues.
Yeah, they have some suctitude issues. I don't know that they are fully down there, but they are
I would
that
say
direction.
they're back to being mediocre. Put it that way.
Yeah, they're back to being mediocre. I don't think they're the Packers of the 70s and 80s.
No. I don't think they suck, but they are
don't
definitely
suck that bad.
mediocre. Yeah, but they're definitely
anybody who's watched old Packers games from the 70s and 80s knows exactly what we're talking about, because they were pretty fucking abysmal.
Oh yeah, they were basically the Lions.
Yeah. Oh Lord, because during that time the Bears were like the big beefy boys.
They're the big dogs. Yeah,
they were the big dogs.
And even then, the Vikings were still pretty good.
Yeah, because you had the Purple People Eaters defenses, and you had Fran Tarkington, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even during that time, we weren't terrible. Not terrible.
No, not at all.
So, but anyway, yeah, it was a very, very, very weird week.
It really was.
About the only non-football news that I can think of, it's something I keep meaning to talk about. It's something I keep forgetting to bring up. So at the beginning of the season, just before the season started for hockey, the NHL came out and said they were going to ban all tapes, jerseys, everything for not just Pride nights, but also, like,
pretty much all the stuff, yeah.
Yeah, all the extra stuff. Like, it didn't matter, support the troops.
Pretty much no extra jerseys, basically, yeah.
Yeah. And now, last night, or a couple of nights ago, one of the players decided, fuck you, I'm going to wear, and a lot of players said they were going to do it anyway, we're going to put Pride tape on our sticks. We don't care. Fine us. We dare you. And so one of the big players did it the other night, and the NHL reversed course and said, if you want to do it, it's fine, but we're not going to force anybody to do it. Which is what it should have always been from the beginning.
That's what you and I talked about from the very beginning was,
right?
Don't force the players to do any of the things. Just let them support whatever the fuck they want to support.
Exactly. I don't understand why the NHL had to make this complicated.
They didn't need to, but it was... It's the classic, we're the authority, and we're going to make it known that we're the authority kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then the players went, No, you don't.
The only other news from the NHL that I can think up that makes any sense that I'd like to talk about real quick is so if anybody's ever watched an NHL draft, we all know that it takes forever and it's boring.
It's not very good.
It's boring as shit. They have talked about doing it more like, recently anyway, doing it more like the way it's done for like the NFL and the NBA, where you don't have the entire team come up on stage and thank a specific person and read out thank yous for this and blah 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 and take 7 hours to talk about the pick. The teams all have their own little war room at their team facilities where they have some cameras from the NHL in there, and then you get to look inside the war room. Not all the players have to come. They can have cameras set up from wherever, and just like they do for the NFL, you can see the celebration with the family. You have one guy, probably Bettman, will come out, read the pick, get booed like everybody else does, and they're going to do a more traditional draft style. And so there is currently a quote-unquote secret polling of the teams, all 32 teams. They get one vote apiece, and it's going to be determined by that as to what Bettman wants to do. Now, I will say that Bettman is open to the idea of doing it, otherwise there wouldn't be a poll.
Yeah. So, I don't think necessarily that it, like, I'll put it this way, it's obviously the better choice. Like, we all agree that that's, if you want to make the draft entertaining and have people watch, that's the way to do it. Do it like the NFL, even the NBA. I think the NFL probably does it the best, though. But I got a feeling that the teams will vote, and it'll ultimately end up going nowhere, or it'll pass and it'll take forever before they decide to actually make the changes, kind of thing.
They're actually talking about trying to implement it this year, if it passes.
I don't think they would be able to.
I don't know. The other thing that I thought,
I could be wrong, obviously, but I just can't imagine that you would be able to.
Though, that I thought might be interesting is still having all the tables on the floor that are all the teams. But instead of having everybody come up to announce their pick, you stay at the table, the commissioner announces the pick, and then the player gets to walk down the center aisle past all the other teams. So if you were somebody who was expected to go first overall and you go sixth,
you could just stare at them,
walk past the other tables and give them the mean mug. Talk about drama. That would be fun.
That's kind of, I mean, the NFL sort of already, I mean, I guess they don't quite do that, but they have a similar enough setup where, you know, with the hats and everything when they do the
hats, yeah.
With the hats. Yeah.
So
that's the closest you get to that, because I've seen some players do like funny things with the hats once in a while. So
but yeah, I rather enjoyed the whole thing. I hope that they do something with it, because right now the NHL draft is virtually unwatchable.
Yeah.
It's boring.
Like, I think even the NBA one is kind of boring, but the NHL one is so much worse.
Yeah. The NFL one is actually really good, and you can.
That's actually pretty entertaining. At least the first night, anyway.
The first night, and you don't need to know everything
and
about.
The second night's pretty good.
The second night's not horrible. It's all right.
It tends to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Third night's where things.
Third, you can skip the third day.
That's where everything kind of falls apart. Yeah.
Yeah, because by then nobody cares anymore.
No.
You're talking about players that maybe they make the roster.
Maybe.
Because then you're talking about, because I think it's round 1 the first night, and then it's 2 and 3 the second, and then it's
everything else
4 on down, and by then you're just kind of like, meh.
Yeah. Except for unless you're the Rams and you get Puka Nacua in the 5th round and find out that he's one of the best.
Or the Vikings and you get fucking what's his name? Pace Jr. Ivan Pace Jr.
Yeah.
In the fucking nowhere. UDFAs.
Yeah.
The fuck. But yeah, no, I just, like, do something, spice it up, make it entertaining. Like, that's what I like about the NFL draft. You don't have to know every player. You don't have to have researched everybody, because the announcers,
they do a pretty good job on.
Yeah, the commentators do a pretty good job of telling you who's available, what their stats are, what the team might be looking for, how they did this last year, what positions they really need to improve on, what players they expect to go next, etc. They do a good job, and when somebody is selected, they do a great job of telling you what they think about them, the scouting reports, etc. So it's not, I think it's a lot better in my opinion. But that could just be me. There was a football trade. I believe the Eagles fleeced the Titans again.
Oh, they're known for doing that.
I believe they got Kevin Byard, the safety,
they did.
for essentially the string and if anybody's ever seen the movie Blazing Saddles, what'll it cost, man? A box of these.
Yeah, I saw people making jokes already, being like, "Man, you guys had the bye week and you still lost."
Yeah, I've seen that already too. So with that trade, somehow you had a bye and you still managed to lose.
And you still lose. Yep. Again, by the Eagles. Like, I guess the Eagles just really enjoy fleecing the Titans.
I guess the Eagles just
I think the Titans just enjoy it.
Do the Eagles own Tennessee now?
I think so, because I feel like Tennessee just enjoys falling over and letting Eagles just pound them.
Thank you, Daddy.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't understand it.
Oh, I don't get it either. I don't get it.
The GM
I
for
don't
the
want
Titans
to get it.
needs. I think the GM for the Titans maybe needs to go.
No, this is a new GM.
Is this a new one?
This is a new one.
God, this is still a bad look.
This is a brand new one. This is not the one that traded away AJ Brown.
AJ Brown. This still looks bad then.
Oh, it looks horrible.
It still looks bad.
It still looks horrible.
Oh man.
All right. Well, I think it's time. I think it's time to see how absolutely terrible we did this week. You ready? Week 7.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start with the Thursday game. Jags at Saints. Jags at Saints. We both picked the Jags. And luckily for us, we were both correct, although that game was a lot closer than what we thought. And the Saints had a shot to win it at the end.
They did. Though the Saints played pretty ugly. Like, that offense was...
They did.
They had moments where they looked good, specifically towards the second half and the back end, but like that first half was really atrocious.
It was bad. So, yeah, Jacksonville does win 31-24. I mean, Lawrence threw for 204 yards and a touchdown. He
had the most rushing yards, too.
Yeah, 59 rushing yards.
By the way, bum knee. He has a bum knee, and he had the most rushing yards of the team.
Rushing yards. Christian Kirk, 90 yards and a touchdown. He had a great grab in that game where, I was like, oh, my God, how'd he come down with that?
There's a couple of those this week, actually.
Oh, yes, there really were. And thank you to Alvin Kamara, who one of the people, my guy, literally...
He tried to carry that team.
Hold on. The guy I played in fantasy this week didn't start at least one person and still beat me.
Alvin Kamara.
You want to know what he had? That you want to know how he beat me?
Alvin Kamara.
Oh, it wasn't just Alvin Kamara.
Probably like Patrick Mahomes.
He
or something
beat me
like that.
142 to 118.
Mm-hmm.
You ready for this? Come on.
I mean, I won my week too, so.
Oh, I
smacked the shit out of my guy. I was like 142 to like 108 on mine.
Let's see here. We're talking. Let me see here. Last week, he left Tony Pollard in and still beat me because he had Lamar Jackson.
Oh yeah, Lamar had a good game.
Alvin Kamara.
Yep.
Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
Brandon Powell.
Okay, he did okay.
Dallas Goedert.
Okay.
Kyle Pitts is his flex. The Patriots as his DST. And Greg Joseph as his kicker.
Yeah, about half the team was good.
Well, he got 33 points from Jackson, 29 from Kamara, 25 from Hill, 18 from Goddard, 11 from Joseph, 10, almost 11 from Powell.
Yeah. It was mostly from the top three guys.
Yeah. So I got stepped on. Sadly. But anyway. neither here nor there. But yeah, Alvin Kamara had an absolutely monster of a game. He tried very hard to carry that team to victory. He got 62 rushing yards and 91 receiving yards. Carr had 300 passing yards with a TD and a pick. Look, the Saints kept it a close game. They had a shot to win it at the end, but they blew it.
Mm-hmm.
They blew it. All right. You got anything else to say about that?
No, really.
Yeah, didn't think so. Browns at Colts. We both picked the Browns. We were both right, but just barely. I did not expect this game to be that close.
Honestly, the Colts should have won and got screwed several times by the refs. The refs this week were fucking atrocious.
This was even the worst game.
I'm gonna ream them out. This was one of the worst ones. I'm gonna ream them out later. But like, there were several bad calls here. Specifically, there was like that towards the end of the game, there was that illegal contact that after they stripped, PJ Walker, they had that strip sack, but then they called it back for an illegal contact on the field. If you rewatch that play, that was not fucking illegal contact. And by the time the contact even happened, the ball was already coming out of PJ Walker's hand, which nullifies illegal contact. So they still called the penalty. Fucking refs, dude. Like they actually right there, Indy would have won because it was like right at the end of the game. They would have won the game right there. So they got screwed. That's not the only one that's happened this week, by the way. So we'll get to that one later.
Yeah, I saw that one, and I was like, "Oh my god, that was atrocious."
Yeah, these ones were both atrocious. I didn't know how bad this one was until I went back and watched that illegal contact call, and I was like, "Wow, that is bad."
But Cleveland does pull the win out.
They do
39-38.
It was a slugfest. I'll give credit to both teams. Like they tried. They both were really
15 seconds left in the game for them to win it.
Yeah. They were both slugfested, so I'll give them credit for that.
Oh yeah, it was a slugfest. PJ Walker would wind up leading the Browns in passing, but that's because
Deshaun Watson got hurt.
Well, he went down. So that was the funny thing is I was actually watching parts of that game, and he went down, grabbed his head and neck. They took him in. The independent neurologist assessed him for concussion and declared that he was good to go back in the game. And he never did.
They didn't put him back in.
Apparently, they said he had a shoulder injury after that.
I hate to tell you, it looked more like PJ Walker was playing better. They just went, nah, we'll just let him.
I don't think he wanted to go in either. Like, if you're a competitor,
if you watch the beginning of that game, Deshaun looked a little rough, and then all of a sudden PJ comes in and starts slinging the ball. It's hard to disargue that.
Yeah, it's hard to say that he even wanted to play. He just wanted to silence people to say that he was holding out on purpose.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that's going to come across as a Deshaun starting W. Like, he's going to get the win because he started the game, even though he doesn't deserve it.
Absolutely not. Ford, 11 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown. He had that great scamper where he just jammed through the middle.
I'm also going to shout out a guy that I almost put on a game ball to, but I didn't give it to him. Miles fucking Garrett had a fantastic game.
We'll get there, because I did give him a game ball. Spoilers.
That guy went nuts.
Anybody, you know when I decided that I was going to give him the ball?
Was it when he jumped over the...
Yes. Yeah. Anytime, we need to talk about that, because anytime you can...
That's pretty fucking athletic.
You can jump. The dude is, I don't even know how big he is, but he's huge.
Isn't he like 285 or
something like that? And he's straight
massive,
up...
6'3",
He straight up parkoured jumped over the line.
Without touching anyone.
Without touching anyone, because you can't touch anyone.
You can't touch them anymore, so...
he straight up jumped over them, landed on the other side, and blocked a field goal. I was like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Which, by the way, if I remember correctly, they ended up recovering the ball, and then... Did they march it down the field?
I don't remember. Right, the other one was he sacked the dude, he sacked Minshew in the end zone, stripped him, and they recovered it for a touchdown.
And then they recovered it for a touchdown, yep.
Look,
also, shout out to Gardner Minshew, because that guy tried to win that game hardcore.
Oh, he did.
He played.
The reason the Browns won is literally Myles Garrett.
Pretty much Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
PJ Walker played good too, knocked it down him any, but it was.
I mean,
pretty much a
178
Myles
yards,
Garrett show.
178 yards and an interception. He wasn't great. He could have been better.
Wasn't great. He did well enough. Yeah.
He did well enough. Minshew, on the other hand, 305 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Had a couple of good scrambles. He tried.
Really good scrambles.
Taylor looks like he's coming back. 18 carries for 75 yards and a touchdown. And Downs. Welcome onto the stage, Downs. 5 catches, 125 and a touchdown. This game was all over the place. It was a hell of a lot of fun to watch. And it just ended up in the Browns' favor in the end.
So now I got to ask you, out of curiosity, if you think Richardson plays, they win that game?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah. If Richardson plays,
I think it would have been. I think it would have been a very similar game, but I think Richardson is a little bit more athletic and probably would have been able to win. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Like it would have been still very close.
Oh, I agree, 100%. Moving along down the list, upset number 1.
We got 5 of them to go.
Bills at Patriots. We both picked the Bills. Surprise, we were both wrong.
They should have.
Patriots win 29-25.
That was an ugly Bills game. Again, remember what I told you though with the Bills is like I told you I was like, hey, they look good. They had that bounce back game. They look great, and then they shit the bed again. Like I don't know what the Bills are anymore.
I don't think the Bills know what they are anymore. The biggest problem that the Bills are having is that everybody knows that if Allen rolls out, he's going to keep his eyes downfield and he's going to try to find Diggs. So just wherever Diggs is, that's where everybody needs to be. They don't have anybody else that they can trust to catch the ball that well. Their leading receiver was Dalton Kincaid, who had 75 yards. Mm-hmm. And they bottled up Allen every time he tried to run, and Cook wound up leading the rushing with 56 yards.
Yeah, which is just not enough either.
Also, Mac Jones finally looked good.
This was the best Mac Jones games he's had in a while.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't, again, I'm going to caveat that and go, good game. Can you do it again?
I mean, 25 of 30, 272, and 2 touchdowns. Stevenson carried 9 times for 34 yards. Bourne caught 63 yards worth of catches on 6 receptions for a touchdown. And you know what? Mac Jones had to lead a comeback in the fourth quarter.
He did. Yeah.
And he did. With 12 seconds left on the clock, he hit a 1-yard pass to Mike Gesicki.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's one of those things where I think the Bills should have won. I think both their offense and defense did not look like the Bills that we've seen before. I think the Patriots played well above what they've been playing this year in general. And, I mean, Bill Belichick finally got his 300th win, so I guess it was inevitable at some point.
It was inevitable that it was going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
Am I happy to have seen this?
Not really.
I mean, kind of, but at the same time, like, I want to see it again. Like, prove to me that this is what you can be all the time. Otherwise, I don't believe it. It's a mirage.
I just don't have any faith. I think it was a mirage game in my mind. I see it as they had an outstanding performance and the Bills had an underperformance, and that's just what it was.
All right. And I can agree. I think the Bills just didn't get up for the game because they thought this was going to be a cakewalk.
Yeah.
That's what makes the Bills so maddening to me, is that, like, they should be able to beat just about everybody, but they don't.
Yeah, but they don't.
All right. Commanders at Giants. You picked the Commanders. I picked the Giants. I would
that
win.
was a bad game.
14-7 Giants win.
Such a bad game.
Horrible game. Horrible game. It was a defensive obliteration on both sides. Nobody could get anything.
It wasn't even fun to watch. It just wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
I remember. I still remember the tweet that Magic Johnson put out right after, where he was just basically like, "Yeah, I didn't play in the NFL, but I know if you only score 7 points, you're not gonna win."
I think my favorite was that. What was it? Jonathan Allen?
Oh yeah, I'm sick of this shit.
Been the same shit for 8 years.
For 7,
now.
I think he said. Did he say 7 or 8?
7.
I forget.
For 7 fucking years, it's been the same.
7 years. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired. I don't blame you, man. I'm also tired.
I don't blame him either.
I'm also tired, and I'm not even a fan.
Me too. So, Sam Howell, 249 yards and a pick. Rodriguez Jr. was their top rusher with 31 yards, and Scary Terry had 90 yards of reception. Tyrod Taylor, 279 and 2 touchdowns. Barkley, 21 carries, 77 yards. Waller, hey, look, a Darren Waller game.
I know, I was pretty happy.
7 receptions, 98 yards, and a touchdown. I already dropped him.
Oh, he's still my starting tight end.
Oh, I dropped him a long time ago and got Laporta. Ingram and Laporta are my starters.
Oh, see, I would have, but Laporta was taken by somebody else already.
Yeah, I got lucky and grabbed Laporta before somebody could get him.
Nope. So I'm still starting Waller, and Waller's still actually been putting up pretty close to 10 points a game, pretty typically actually. So it's not been that bad.
But yeah, dude, this
was
game,
definitely his better performance.
This game was what we would call a snooze fest.
Oh, it was so boring. And the Giants won without Daniel Jones, which is just even funnier to think about.
And Sam Howell sacked 6 times.
What are they at, 40 sacks on the season already or some shit?
Something ridiculous.
It sounds like they're gonna break the most sacks. I feel bad for Howell. That poor man is just getting whacked constantly. I think he's actually a pretty good QB, but if you're not given time to throw, what are you gonna do, right?
I agree with that. It's so bad. And then you look at Tyrod Taylor, and he was sacked 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an ugly game.
It was a pretty ugly game, yeah.
However, I don't think it was as ugly as the next game on our list.
I don't know, man. I think it is, only just because I can't remember much about the game outside of it happened.
I don't remember much about this game outside of the fact that it happened either.
Fair. Which one is it?
Lions at Ravens.
Oh, no, I remember that one happened because it was funny watching the Ravens dance all over the Lions. The Ravens just had, specifically Lamar, just had a game.
Yeah,
and just
the Lions had no answers. None.
Lamar said, I'm winning this game. And the Lions went, okay.
The Lions had 0 answers for anything that
Did
Lamar
they even
was
sack
doing.
Lamar once?
I don't think so.
Nope,
didn't get sacked.
Yeah, so if they're not pressuring him, of course he's gonna win. That's the problem. That's the only way Lamar gets.
21 of 27, 357, 3 touchdowns through the air, 9 carries, 36 yards, and a touchdown on the ground.
Yeah, it's hard to beat that when a guy's going like that. That reminds me of the Patrick Mahomes one, because I think Mahomes had a similar stat line.
At one point in time, there was nothing the Lions defense could do to stop him. It was disgusting. No. Final score, 38-6. We had both picked the Lions to win. We are obviously both wrong. The Lions got shellacked this week.
I think it's funny how Dan Campbell came out and was just we probably deserve to get that lost.
No, and you know what? He's probably right.
I mean, he's not wrong, but the way he worded it was just maybe you're not supposed to just kind of roll over and accept that, though.
No,
I get
he's
what you're
probably
saying.
mad, but at the same time,
just the way that he talked about it on the press conference is that wording's a little weird, but all right, Dan. But that's just Dan. That's Campbell in general.
That is Dan.
He's a
Campbell,
weirdo.
Rather in general, he is a little bit weird. All right, next one down the list: Raiders at Bears. You picked the Raiders. I picked the Bears.
God damn.
I win 30-12.
That was fucking atrocious.
For the Raiders? Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There was no reason for that. 30-12, guys. You're both playing backups. What the fuck?
The Raiders started Brandon Hoyer.
Which was a bad idea.
17 of 32, 129, and 2 picks.
Yeah.
Not a good idea. Jacobs only had 11 carries for 35 yards. And Devontae Adams, 7 catches for 57 yards. Now,
there's not much he can do when he's playing with those QBs. Though.
Tyson Bagent.
Maybe he should be starting over Fields, because apparently...
Tyson Bagent So what did we
He
learn
looked better
about,
than Fields in most of these
what did we
fucking
learn
games.
about Tyson Bagent? That he won the Division II's version of the Heisman. And you know what?
Yeah.
He looked like it.
I was gonna say, like, he honestly looked better than Fields in a lot of ways. This
Yeah,
game. Like,
21 of
really
29 for 162 yards and a touchdown. Dante Foreman,
Foreman looked really good too, which is
16 carries for 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. Just a bowling ball of a back.
weird. Yeah, he looked
And
great.
of course, Moore, 8 catches for 54 yards. I do want to point out that eventually they would pull Hoyer and put in O'Connell. O'Connell would go 10 of 13 for 75 yards, a touchdown, and a pick.
I gotta say, it didn't really matter much.
It really didn't. Sadly for them.
Though I will say this: why the fuck did they not just start O'Connell in the first place? He's clearly better than Hoyer. Like, there's no question.
Don't know. We're talking
Because they did that earlier in the season.
We're talking about McDaniel.
Because remember, they did that early in the season where they started O'Connell
Yeah,
over Hoyer.
we're
So why the
talking-
fuck did they switch it this time?
We're talking about McDaniel. Do you have any other questions?
Fucking snake, man.
That dude can't coach.
No, guy's an idiot.
But anyway, so that was the Raiders and the Bears, and like I said, I don't know, man. Bagent's looking decent.
I'll say this though, like, he looked good, but I imagine if Fields was playing there, it would still look pretty similar. That Raiders
I
defense
do
looked
too.
fucking
The
awful.
Raiders defense looked terrible.
This game,
Even
specifically,
Max
like, in
double X-
general, they haven't, but
Even Max Double X Crosby couldn't save that game.
God no.
Moving down, Falcons at Buccaneers. You picked the Falcons. I picked the Buccaneers. I have wronged the tune of 16-13. Although
Barely.
this was a really good game.
It was kind of fun to watch, but not for the reasons you would expect. Like,
Not at
it
all.
was a very chaotic game.
Chaotic is about the right example on this. Why was it chaotic? Well, the best player on either side decided not to play.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're not entirely sure what happened with that. He started the game and then just took himself out.
Apparently.
Apparently, the rumor was he had a headache and he didn't feel right. And he
Wasn't feeling good, yeah.
Wasn't feeling good. They're now being investigated for that, by the way.
Yeah. Like,
That seems weird. What's going on?
That was a little weird. What
Yep.
happened there, my guy?
That would be Bijan Robinson we're talking about.
Yeah.
Nobody knows exactly what happened there.
Yeah, a lot of people were questioning that because sometimes he played, sometimes he wasn't, and it was weird. It was weird.
Ritter probably had one of his better games.
I mean, statistically, yeah, but if you watch the field,
Yeah,
like there was some.
statistically. He didn't get picked off.
Yeah, but if you watch some of those throws, he probably should have been.
If he was playing a better defense, he probably would have been.
Also, I just want to point out, what the fuck was that behind the back catch? That fucking.
That Pitts catch?
Catch? Yeah, what the fuck was that?
He was trying to do what Bijan did.
But Ritter, like, it was such a bad throw, and he still managed to make a catch.
So my question is Ritter throwing that on purpose to make his receivers look better?
I was gonna say you stole that.
I totally did. From Brandon Perna.
Yeah. That was a ridiculous catch, though. Like, Jesus.
There were
and then
those.
and then of course let's not forget the guy that almost broke his fucking neck trying to get a touchdown.
Drake London.
Poor London, my guy. And
What
then
was that,
immediately,
Drake?
and then let's immediately fumble the ball in the 1 yard line. Why not?
If I remember right, yeah. So this is something I wanted to bring up. The Falcons fell victim to the fumble it out of the end zone curse.
No, actually, they didn't. What happened is they actually ruled that he was down on the 1 yard line.
No. They ruled he was down on the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
And then they tried
And then they
to
fumbled
run
the
it
ball.
in.
No, they fumbled the ball, and then they recovered the ball on like the 4 yard line.
I thought there
The
was
other-
one. Wasn't there another one where he was trying to run it in and somebody punched it out from behind and it went out the end zone? I remember that happening.
I don't remember seeing that unless that got ruled, like, unless there was a flag or something that changed that.
No,
I
that was
didn't
a
see it.
full-on touchback.
I didn't see that one. Yeah, I don't remember seeing that one.
Yeah, there was.
Because I don't remember even anybody talking about that one, so it must not have been that big of a thing.
I still remember it happening. It happened right at the end. Oh no, that's not that one. Bloop.
Because I remember talking everybody like I remember Grossi and Perno talking about the one that happened for the Vikings, but they didn't talk about any that happened this week. So I'm not sure if that was a penalized thing or something that didn't actually
Yeah,
occur.
no, there it is. Happened in the third quarter after the one with Yaya Diaby getting the ball, forcing the fumble and getting the ball back on the 3. The next time down the thing, there was a delay of game because there's a delay of game when they were 3rd and 1 at the Tampa Bay 8. They wound up first and goal. No, they got first and goal. Then they had a delay of game, so they got moved back. And then somehow there was another first and goal that got moved forward to the 1 yard line.
Probably PI or something.
Something. And then Ritter takes it off left end for the. Oh no, that's what it was. Ritter goes 12 yards for the touchdown. However, the play was reversed. And then he fumbled as Winfield punched the ball out as he was going across, and it went just over the goal line and out
I remember seeing
that front corner.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the punch out, but I didn't
think
that was actually. Yeah, I was gonna say I remember seeing the punch out, but I didn't remember seeing the result of like what happened after.
Yeah, that was a touchback, just like it should have been, and then
crazy.
Yeah, and then of course Tampa Bay was marching and threw an interception. This game was chaotic, and in the end, it came down to Younghoe Koo nailing a 51-yard field goal to win the game.
Yeah, that was
Kicker's got to work out. Nobody else did.
Apparently.
Jesus. All right. Moving on down the list. The game that you want to eviscerate. You ready to eviscerate it?
I mean, there's so many of them.
Steelers at Rams.
God, that was so bad.
Steelers
like, I've already... Man, you know...
We both picked the Rams to win. We both were wrong. Steelers win 24-17. However, you have feelings on this, and I will let you have the floor and talk about your feelings on this.
They absolutely did not deserve that win. So, I mean... I think the refs that ref this game might need to go to an eye doctor, because clearly they don't know what a PI is, and they very much don't know how to place a ball. Like, I don't know how you could possibly rewatch that last QB sneak or tush push or whatever you want to call it and tell me that he somehow got that first down when his knee was clearly down behind the line of scrimmage, for fuck's sake. He actually probably lost yards, and they're saying that he gained a fucking yard. Like, what world is this? And the worst part about it, too, is that play happened before 2 minutes. And because of that, it was not reviewable by New York. And so Steelers win. That's what happened. Because they gave it to him, it was 2 minutes and 12 seconds. The clock kept running. It hit 2 minutes. The play was done. They measured it, said he got it, and then they just had to knee it down for the win. They didn't deserve that win. They absolutely didn't. And frankly, those refs, every single one of them, like, it was so funny after the ball got spotted and they ruled it a first down. I saw two refs immediately go, like, you could tell right away. They were like, oh shit, someone fucked up, because even they knew that was not supposed to be a first down. Someone fucked up, and they gave the Steelers the win. Absolutely ridiculous.
I agree with you 100%. I didn't get to see the game, but I watched the highlight afterwards, and I was like, "Oh, somebody should be fired for this."
Oh yeah, someone's if the NFL doesn't come out and state that they find these guys or something, like I'm gonna be livid because like there
We
has to
never
be
hear
recourse
that
for
though.
that.
You'll never hear
They
about.
should though. That's what I'm saying. Like there
I
has to be some
agree,
type of
but
recourse.
again, you never hear from the officials.
Very rarely, unless it's like super bad, like
And
that Saints
you know why
Minnesota
that
one
is?
way back when.
Several years ago, there was a strike by the
Yeah.
officials, and we had to play the game with.
Yeah, no, I know.
And we had a couple of refs that had no fucking idea what was going on. There was a travesty between Green Bay and Seattle. In Seattle, everybody remembers this. It was terrible. Nobody knew what was going on. Dumbest crap ever.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But then we get shit like this still, and you go, like, I get it. It's not as bad as that other game was because that other one was so much worse. But this is still bad. You're still changing the course of games. Because of that, it's still bad. Just because it's less bad doesn't make it not bad.
Oh, I agree.
And it feels like that's what the NFL's doing. They're just going, okay. Until they start cracking down on the refs and go, no, this is your fucking job, and you need to do it right, or you're gonna get fined just like anybody else who works. You need to be held accountable. You fuck up, you make a mistake, you gotta owe up to it. It is what it is.
All right. Oh yeah, and then let's move. Well, one of these days we'll talk about it coming up here. There was a play in the Packers Broncos game.
Which one? Which one are we talking about?
The
talking about the
interception that wasn't an interception that should have been an interception.
Oh, I thought you wanted to talk about the hit. I also want to talk about the hit.
Yeah, because somebody else laid an even harder hit this week, and we're going to talk about that right now.
Oh, which, by the way, that very good hit. I'm not even going to say it. It was a great hit. It was a valid hit.
He's been suspended 4 games.
Not this one.
Not this
the
one.
Broncos guy
The
did.
Broncos won.
I know, which didn't make sense. They were both the same hit.
The same type of hit, yeah.
Yeah.
So
ridiculous.
Cardinals Seahawks. Seahawks win 20-10. We both selected the Seahawks to win. We were both
that was
correct.
kind of expected. Yeah,
That was pretty expected. And Devin Witherspoon laid an absolute licking on. I don't even remember who he hit, but he hit this
I
dude
don't know,
so hard. I'm
he
sure
ragdolled him.
I'm sure his dead relatives felt that hit.
Like, if you watch that again, it legit looks like the guy ragdolled. Like, he got hit so hard.
God,
It's
Jesus.
the funniest hit ever where both guys can get up and be like, yeah, we're fine.
Yeah. It
was
was a
just the
quarterback. It
funniest
was a
looking hit.
quarterback hit too. Devin Witherspoon is a corner, and he hit the dude like a linebacker. Just
Dude,
boom.
like, the guy literally bounced off the ground, I think, like, twice. He
What
got
the
hit
hell?
so hard.
I watched that and I was like, oh my god.
Like, I watched it and immediately went, oh! Like,
That had
he
to hurt.
destroyed that kid.
Oh, I feel so sorry for whoever that was.
Pretty much. I was like, oh, fuck, that looked like that hurt. Like, and he just caught the ball, too. It's like instantaneous. I give credit to the kid. Held on to the ball.
He did. I am very surprised.
I
And
can't
then,
imagine most people who take that hit manage to hold on to the ball.
Speaking of that now, though, we do have to talk about probably one of my favoritely named guys, Jake Bobo.
Jake Bobo.
Jake Bobo.
Oh, man. That guy had a
that
ridiculous
catch. That catch in the end zone was just stupid.
It was funny because when I watched that live, I was like, oh, man, that was such a good catch. Too bad it was out of bounds. And then they replayed it, and I was like, holy shit, I think his toes just barely stayed in bounds there. Holy shit, I think he actually managed to catch
that. I was like, I think he caught that. Oh, my
insane.
God.
He might not be super fast, but, man, he's got good awareness of where his
You
feet
know
is,
what?
and he got good
40
hands.
times, and your 40 time doesn't matter. You know what matters? Getting both feet in bounds.
Yep. Especially in short field, you know?
Yeah, that was an
crazy.
amazing catch. That's not something I figured we'd see, and holy God, was that catch just stupidly good.
Granted, it's like, we'll have to see if he continues catching pretty well, but I mean, so far, I hate to say it, but he looks like the better receiver over JSN at the moment.
Well, JSN actually didn't have a horrible game yet
No,
this time
he still
anyway.
was good.
63 yards and a touchdown. So
Yeah, he still looked good, but he didn't. Bobo just looks a little better at the moment, but I don't know if that's just circumstances or what.
Well, and it's also somebody said something about it with wide receivers, especially. They don't ask you to do a lot of the stuff that the pros ask you to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it usually takes wide receivers a year or two to really flash what they're going to do, because they only ask you to run a couple of different types of routes rather than all the plethora you're going to have to learn for the NFL. And a lot of times in college, it's just run a deep route.
Yeah, run down the sideline.
Run down the sideline. We'll throw the ball up to you. Because
or run a mid post route, you know.
Because the really good wide receivers are generally faster and better than anybody on the other team.
That's even close, yeah.
Yeah. So
in comparison to NFL, where like a lot of players have very similar speeds.
Yes. All right. Moving on down the list. Packers at Broncos. Chris picked the Packers. I picked the Broncos.
I'm glad I was wrong.
I win 19-17.
I'm glad I was wrong.
This game was very interesting, and Jordan Love throwing an interception at the end of the game to lose again. That seems to be a theme this year for him.
Unfortunately for him, yeah.
Also, one of his touchdowns should not have been a touchdown.
No, it shouldn't have been.
So what I'm talking about is Patrick Surtain, however you want to say his name. He and was it Christian Watson?
It was Watson, yep.
He and Watson both caught the ball. 4 hands on the ball. Now the rule is that possession is not established until you touch the ground.
The ground, yep. They were both still in the air with 4 hands on the ball, by the way.
Surtain touches the ground first.
With both feet, by the way.
With both feet. Watson second. Should be ruled an interception.
Yep, because Surtain came down with it first.
Surtain came down with it first. And they ruled it a touchdown instead, which it should not have been a touchdown. It should have been an interception. No. So technically it should be 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions, but I mean, I get it. I think what's really sad about this is that the trend has continued to hold for Green Bay, which is they don't start playing until the second half.
It feels like they turned into the Vikings all of a sudden. We used to have that problem too.
The first half was all Denver, and it was nothing but field goals.
Oh yeah, it was a boring game for most of the game, to be fair.
And then in the second half, all of a sudden you had a Green Bay field goal, then you had a touchdown, then you had another touchdown, and then, it just started turning into a touchdown fest. And then Will Lutz nails the 52-yard field goal to put up the Broncos with 3:50 left to play. And at the end of the game, Love rolls out, throws a deep ball to Watson, picked off. Now, we do need to talk about... We do need to talk about this, because just like in the other game...
Another big hit.
Just like in the other game. I'm trying to find the dude's name.
Oh. Yeah, I had it in... God, I had it in my head. I had it there for a second.
Was it Perkins? No, he's DE. I think it might be Justin Simmons.
Kareem Jackson.
Kareem Jackson?
It's Kareem Jackson.
Okay. Kareem Jackson laid an absolute blast of a hit on
Musgrave.
And then he got called for a penalty for unnecessary roughness.
Bad call, by the way.
Bad call, by the way. And now the NFL has suspended him 4 games. Even worse call.
Even worse call.
First off, that hit wasn't unnecessary roughness.
No, Musgrave it was shoulder.
And Musgrave was seen on the sidelines laughing about it.
Yep.
Right after the hit happened. So for a play that injured nobody, I don't really know that
we now have a suspended player for 4 games.
Yep.
What the fuck?
For what?
I guess supposedly this wasn't the first one he's had, so they're saying that
No,
he's
it
done it
isn't.
several times now. But like, if you watch all of them, most of them look like they're good hits. Like, I don't
They are. They are, but if you look at them in the
like
moment, it's
like
a bang bang play.
yeah. And so what happens is quite often, and just like this one, this is the difference between the one this one is that he starts with the shoulder. And you can tell he leads with the shoulder, and their helmets do eventually clash, but it starts with shoulder to shoulder contact, which makes it a legal hit. But because they see helmet to helmet, they immediately go, "Oh no!"
Well,
and
not
freak
only
out.
that, he's developing a reputation now, so they automatically just assume.
Yeah.
And you see the same thing in hockey, where some players
Yeah.
can get away with stuff and others can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of those situations where it's very clear that he's being targeted now at this point, which is ridiculous.
But yeah, PJ Locke would pick him off. Yeah. They would pick off Love. Locke picks off Love, wins the game. Broncos win. I think I'm okay with the suffering of Packers fans.
Yeah, I mean, they can learn what it feels like to be at the bottom for a while.
All right. Moving along down the list. Chargers at Chiefs. We both picked the Chiefs. We were both correct.
God, that was such a bad game though. Like it started good, and then it quickly got out of hand. Just like
31
another game we'll be talking about later.
31-17. Travis Kelce also had a really awesome touchdown.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did that, but he catches the damn thing. It's low, and then he still manages to lift it up above everybody and fall backwards into the end zone while being mobbed by like 6 people.
It's Kelsey. What do you expect?
Apparently. And apparently
He's uncoverable, apparently.
Apparently the internet is now breaking because Brittany Mahomes and Taylor Swift did a little dance together
Who
or something.
cares? It was some type of handshake bullshit. It just looks like one of those high school secret handshakes things.
Yeah.
Like,
And
okay,
apparently Taylor Swift is now wearing a bracelet with Kelsey's number on it, and
yeah.
so the whole
and there was
world
a picture.
is like,
There was a picture. I think was it Taylor that posted it, or was it Travis that posted a picture of the two together afterwards, where Taylor's kissing Travis on the cheek. Like, okay, fine, whatever. I don't care anymore, guys.
Yeah,
this is the only reason I don't watch Chiefs games anymore, because I don't care about Taylor Chief. All right, like that's what it feels like. This isn't
now.
the
I
Taylor
gotta
Chiefs.
be honest. Him and Jason and Travis talking about it on their podcast is always going to be hilarious.
Well, yeah, of course.
Because they know how to make light of the situation.
Yeah, they're goofballs.
They really are, and it's so funny to watch Travis interact with Jason's kids, his nieces.
Oh, his nieces, yeah.
Yeah, they got him on there. One of them was like, "Tell Uncle Trav what you're wearing. It's a leotard." She's just so excited. I was like, okay, that's cute. But yeah, Patrick Mahomes, 32 of 42, 424 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a pick.
Yep.
Kelsey, 12 receptions, 179 yards, and a touchdown. Like, that's just
doing
unfair.
what he do.
It's
doing
just
what
unfair.
he do.
Yep. I don't think there was ever any doubt that the Chiefs were going to win that game.
Pretty little doubt.
Moving along. Dolphins at Eagles. We both thought the Dolphins could beat the Eagles. We were incorrect.
By the way, deja vu.
Yeah?
It's the same deja vu. It's the same scoreline. Deja vu.
Deja vu. Eagles win 31-17. Hurts looked pretty doggone good, and they managed to...
This is another what the fuck refs game, though. Like, they didn't call a single penalty on the Eagles the entire game. Not a single one.
No, they didn't.
Even though there was definitely penalties on the Eagles. Holding calls. There was a face mask that I saw that wasn't called. Like...
Yep. This is, however, A.J. Brown's, like, what is this, his 7th week in a row now or something, where he's had more
Oh,
than
yeah.
125 yards receiving? Some
Something like that, yeah.
stupid amount of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
You really think that the Titans didn't get fleeced in that trade?
Oh, by the way, apparently he's got, 860 yards on the season, and the entire Titans receiving core has 780.
Something like that, yeah. And somebody
One guy
was
has
pointing
the
out that,
entire...
like, since that trade happened, the Titans as a team have,
Oh, they have fallen
like,
apart.
14 touchdowns,
Yeah.
and he has 12
I was
by
going to say,
himself.
well, just in general, they're falling apart. Like, they have no one to throw to anymore. Even though they have Hopkins, it's still not enough. It's just not.
It also sucks that they don't have anybody that can throw the ball anymore.
Not really.
They did, however, the defense really did come through for the Eagles in this one. They
Yeah,
did bottle
they
up
did.
Hill. Somebody as electric as Hill, to have him only have 88 yards.
Yeah. Though I will say Hill did drop that really
Oh my
egregious
God.
touchdown pass.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Oh my
bad.
God, that was a walk-in.
For somebody like him, that's a pretty bad drop.
And now we'll get to the Monday night game.
This was shocking.
But you and I were both shocked. 49ers and Vikings, we both picked the Niners to win, and we were both surprisingly and shockingly wrong. As we pointed out, I said to Chris after the game, I said, I don't think that was Kirk Cousins. I think that was Kirk Three Chains.
Like, Kirk's not getting traded now. Like, anyone who's been like,
No.
yeah, he trade deadline, it's not happening, guys.
It's not happening.
Not
And in
happening.
fact, if we win next week, we'll be 4-4. I don't
Yeah.
know that we trade anybody at that point.
No, not at all. And potentially Hunter, but I think after this game, no.
No.
Like you look at it and you go, 49ers are one of the best teams in the league. We just beat them. The games we lost were mostly close games. Maybe we're finally clicking again. I don't know, but this was a good game. We'll see. This was definitely one of the better Cousins game that I've seen. Like, he was on fire.
Also, Jordan Addison.
Oh, Jordan Addison was great. This was his big game finally.
Yes.
He had some other good games, but this was the big game.
Jordan Addison, 7 receptions, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did leave the field for a little bit. Turns out he had cramps. I thought maybe he'd broken something in his foot.
Thankfully
Thank
not.
God that was not the case.
Just needed to deal with cramps and get shot up with probably like saline solution, I assume.
More than likely, yes. There was an uncharacteristic fumble by McCaffrey.
Yes,
And
which did give us a big advantage.
Brock Purdy threw 2 interceptions.
Pretty much, weren't they back-to-back drives too?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he
And
got
then
he got pushed out of pressure.
The
and
newest,
then,
the newest sensational dance in the Twin Cities, the worm,
Yep, the worm, the
The
Cam
worm.
Bynum worm.
the Cam Bynum worm.
Wasn't even a very good worm, by the way.
I think the
Better
most
than I
shocking,
could do.
The most shocking plays to me were the funniest ones, in my opinion, because there were 2 of them that made me laugh. The first
there
one
was
I
a
didn't
couple of
laugh.
good.
I didn't laugh at it until until the second one,
The second one, oh yeah,
which
Fair.
is one of the first passes Cousins throws, gets
think it was like
ripped
his
away
third.
from Addison and intercepted.
Like not Kirk's fault. Like, it literally was in Addison's hand that got ripped out. Like,
Yeah.
what do you
and
do?
then, with 7 seconds left in the quarter, Kirk hits Addison, who does the
it
same
back.
thing, does it back, and goes 60 yards for a touchdown.
Oh, you're gonna rip the ball out of my hands? Well, I'll do it right back to you. Fuck you, man.
Fuck you, man. Oh, Lord. There were some times, though, where... Like that time when it took them 30 seconds and like 3 plays to score. I was like, well,
Yeah.
here they come. We're done. And it
That was like the
it
only
never
time they did that,
manifested.
though.
It never manifested. It also
No.
doesn't help that Jake Moody missed another field goal.
No, he did. One that he should not have missed, by the
One
way.
that he should not have missed. And then he nails a 55-yarder.
Which, what?
And they had a chance at the end of the game driving
Yep.
to get that touchdown. And Cam Bynum.
Yep, they put pressure on Purdy. He had to roll out of the pocket. Took a throw to a receiver that did have a step on somebody, but he clearly missed Bynum as the guy that was sitting there
Now, I
waiting
will
for it.
also say the Vikings O-line looked pretty damn good.
Well, As far as passing protection, yes.
That's what I was saying. They can't rush the ball worth damn.
Fuck no. I don't know
Like,
how you can be so good at protection when it comes to passing and be so shit at rushing team. Like, I don't get it.
I don't get it either, man. I do not get it.
But I will say that this was a fun game to watch. It was very entertaining. It was a good game.
It was better than I thought it was going to be.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I just and that defense. Like, I'll say this. I knew that. Remember, at the beginning of the season, you and I talked how it might be a little rough at the beginning due to new defensive coordinator, new playbook, right? I should say completely new playbook, but a little slight difference, right? New defensive coordinator. There might be some early issues, and we talked about that, and we said that might be an issue. And this is definitely the best defensive game they've had. So I'm kind of wondering if the defense is finally starting to roll with the Brian Flores and finally getting understanding of like this is the Brian Flores defense we were
and that
hoping
could be
for.
a little bit of that could have just taken some time. Yeah.
All right. So I'm interested to see how next week goes, because if we blow up the Packers next week, then it's looked like this is a real team maybe now.
Okay. Yep. I agree too. And then we're gonna get JJ back.
Yeah, I think he's only a couple weeks out, right? 2-3 weeks.
Something like that. Yeah. All right. Ready for some hit the showers?
Oh fuck yeah.
You can start.
All right. Number 1, Denzel Ward. Jordan Addison made you look like a fucking joke. Hit the showers, my guy.
The Lions. The entire team.
Fair enough.
Look, because for me, hit the showers isn't horrible. It's just like, okay, go cool off.
Yeah, exactly. That's why why Denzel Ward's been good. That's why I just went, hey, this one game, he made you look like a joke. Go hit the showers.
The Lions, the entire team, go hit the showers.
Alexander Madison. Alexander Madison. I realize that O-line isn't really helping you run the ball, but you are certainly not doing much, and Cam Akers is somehow playing better than you at this point, so hit the showers.
Deshaun Watson. You look like you didn't want to be there, and then you sat out. Hit the showers.
Brock Purdy. I hate to say it, but
God damn it.
This was a little rough of a game for you. Just take a light shower.
I also have Brock Purdy as my other hit the showers. Little rough. You'll bounce back. It'll be okay.
It'll be okay, but this was a rough game.
You know, I almost want to honorary mention the Titans. Hit the showers. How the fuck do you lose on your bye week?
True. I don't know. You could put Bijan in here like, Bijan, what the fuck are you doing?
Inferno?
Sure. Why not?
All right.
You want me to go or you go?
I'll start first because one of my Infernos is a guy you had in showers.
Ah, okay.
Charvarius Ward. Rank 2. You're not horrible. You're a little warm. You kind of got toasted by Addison. And it's not... The reason you're in here is because of the amount of penalties.
Oh my god, so many penalties.
That fucked your
Wasn't
team.
it like 5 or 6?
It was like 5 penalties you took. By yourself.
Not good, man.
You need to like get your head back in it, man.
Yeah. All right. Refs. Here's a 6th circle. Like, this is now 2 weeks in a row where things have gone bad and it's only gotten worse. All I'm going to say is, what the fuck was that spot? What was that PI? Why are we still having so many issues? And what was that illegal contact in the Indy Brown game? Are you all fucking blind? That's all I wrote down for that.
Jordan Love. You're in the 3rd circle. My dude, stop rolling out and throwing interceptions. Come
Brandon
on,
Staley. Stop. Brandon Staley. You're in the 7th circle. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
Ron Rivera. You're in the 5th circle.
Ooh.
My dude.
Fair enough.
My dude. What the fuck was that? What the fuck are you doing? Do you even know anymore?
Dude, I think there's a reason why they brought up Big Enemy, because I think Ron Rivera's done this season. I think he's kind of... I don't want to say he's cashing a check, because I don't think he is, but he's definitely not fully there.
I agree, he's definitely not fully there.
All right, for my last one, Josh fucking McDaniels the Snake. You're in Circle 8. That looked ugly. You got smacked by a team that you really shouldn't have. I don't care if you were playing a backup QB. So were they. And you still got smacked! All right, I'm good now.
Okay. All right, ready for some game balls?
Oh, don't you have your third one? Oh no, you started. Never mind.
I started. Game balls?
Yeah, game balls.
Game balls, you can start.
Yep. Number 1, Jordan Addison. Enjoy your game ball.
Figured you were going to do him. Myles Garrett.
Fair enough.
That's my god, dude.
Number 2, Patrick Mahomes, because of course.
Good job. Good job. I can take that. Number 2, Mac Jones. 25 of 32, 52, 2 touchdowns, and you led a fourth quarter comeback? Hey, that deserves a game ball, considering how horrible you've been to this point. True. I'm going to give you a game ball for a good performance.
All right. For my third one, I am cheating, and I don't care. But I'm going against one of my rules, which is normally I try not to choose a player from the same team twice, but I don't care. Cam Bynum gets a fucking game ball.
God damn it, you stole my last one. So you know what? You know what? Fuck you. Kirk Cousins, you get a game ball.
Fair enough.
Kirk
all the Vikings get game balls.
Kirk 3 chains.
But
yeah, I had Cam Bynum on there
3
too.
chains.
I had Cam Bynum on there too. Did you see after the game also JJ walked up and put the
he put the top 10 on him,
chain around.
Hey! Hey! I love JJ. He's hilarious.
JJ's hilarious.
I love JJ.
He's such a dork. Okay. Hot potatoes?
Sure. I didn't have any written down for this, so I had to think about it for a second. So if you got some, go ahead.
I definitely have a spicy one. I'll lob right at you. Do you want me to start spicy or do you want me to start mild?
However you wish to go for it. If you want to go mild to spicy, that's fine.
I'll start mild. I'll start mild, and we'll work our way up to the spicy shot.
All right.
Maybe the Bears should just roll with Tyson Bagent?
It's funny because we talked about this already, and I even mentioned it. So I don't think I can eat that only because like I want to see a little bit more out of him first if we're going to keep playing him, and I think that as we discussed, if Justin Fields had played that, it would have probably been the same kind of solution. So I don't know if I want to go that way yet, but it is a very promising for the Bears that tells them that if Fields isn't working out, they do have someone they can try to rely on. So I don't really want to eat that yet, but it's certainly looking that way for me. I'm certainly seeing that and going, it's looking mighty tasty.
That looks yummy.
So, all right. All right. Ooh, I got one. Maybe the Titans should trade their running back before the trade deadline? Because obviously they can get something for him.
Yeah,
Derrick Henry
this
still...
week. You're saying this week before Week 8 starts, because the trade deadline is the 31st.
Yeah, and so I said before the trade deadline,
So, yeah, I could see that. I don't think it'll happen before the trade deadline. I do think it'll happen at the trade deadline, if I'm going to be right. But it's the Titans. They're going to get fleeced by somebody.
Eagles. They don't need another running back, but why not? Can you imagine Derrick Henry on the fucking Eagles? Oh my god. You know what I would like? Because we're having so many running back issues, how about we go get Derrick Henry?
Hunter for Henry?
Hunter for Henry. I would do it all day long.
I'd do it all day long. Maybe the AFC North can send 3 teams to the playoffs?
Oh, no, sir. 2, maybe. 3, no. No, I don't think 3. The NFC? God, no.
Because they've got a whole bunch of teams that are like 4-2 and 5-2 and stuff.
Which,
because the AFC North is the one with the Ravens, the Steelers, the
true.
Browns, and the Bengals.
That's true. They could. Right now the Bengals are being just weak enough, and the Browns are still sketchy enough. I don't know. It's possible, but I still don't know if they're going to be the one that gets 3. There's other divisions that I think maybe have a better chance of sending 3, but we'll see. They definitely have an option, I guess. They're not out of it, but they're... I just don't have trust with the Browns, because like when you have Deshaun Watson doing Deshaun Watson like that, unless Joe Burrow comes back, I don't see him getting the 3rd spot. So I guess we'll see. It's possible, I guess, but I don't see it being likely. So I'm gonna move on from that one for now.
Okay.
That one's right. Not quite enticing as the other one was.
All right. I see it in your head.
Maybe. just maybe, the Vikings will make the playoffs.
Oh. Ooh, that's spicy.
Because you gotta remember too, like I don't think there's been any team in the last 30 years that's gone 0-3 and made playoffs. That I can think of. There may have been one, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's like 6% or something.
Yeah, it's like such a low percent. Like,
what do we got left? Packers, Falcons. You know what? It's possible. I wouldn't have said so at the beginning of the season, but looking at how poorly the Packers have been playing, and how poorly the Saints are playing, and how even poorly the Bengals in their own minds are kind of playing, it's possible. I won't rule it out. I don't think so, but I won't rule it out yet. You ready for the super spicy potato?
Sure, why not?
Maybe, just maybe, Myles Garrett will be the MVP of the league this year.
I get where you're coming from, and I think realistically, you can make arguments where it maybe should be, but MVPs are almost never defensive players. It's very, very rarely it is. Even when it's like states where you can look at it and objectively go, they should have one MVP. I don't think he's playing good enough to warrant an MVP. He's very good, don't get me wrong, but like when you look at MVP discussions, like you're going to be like Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, like Jalen Hurts. Maybe not quite as much as he was before, but you see what I'm saying? Like you just have other players that are almost more superstardom in that respect. Not that Myles Garrett is not a star on that defense, but like there are years where we've seen like Aaron Donald should have won MVP and didn't. So
JJ Watt,
TJ Watt even. Like so I just don't think it'll happen, even if I think he deserves it. He should win Defensive Player of the Year probably if he keeps going at this rate, but I don't think he'll win MVP, even if I think he deserves it.
Yeah, that jump over the line was an all-time amazingly great play.
And he's going good for how many sacks he's gotten. I think isn't he at like 81 right now for his total career?
81 or 82.
Yeah, like he's going pretty good. I mean, he's still not close to the career, which I think is like 170 or some shit.
100,
but like
I want to say it's 180 something.
Is it 180? Okay, like yeah. It's still a ways to go for
and
that.
That was, I believe, the minister of sack.
I think so. But I'll say this: I mean, he's only 28, so he's definitely on track to try to at least match that. So as long as he bars injuries, I think he could be one of the best on the defense, like pretty much at all. Just period. Just one of the best defensive players ever. But we have to wait and see. All right. So what's my third one going to be then? Do I want to go? Do I want to go silly, stupid, or spicy? I think I'll just go stupid for the funniest of it. Maybe, just maybe, the Denver Broncos will not draft a QB next draft.
If you had said, won't draft one in the first round, I might have given it to you.
I figured, yeah.
Not at all? I think they'll take one, but it'll be in like the 4th or 5th round, knowing the Broncos. I don't trust them not to take one at all.
I was thinking that they might just trade for one in the offseason just because that's what
now
they seem
that
to
is
do.
also something that I'm thinking that could happen, but the way things are going, I don't know that they would have the cap space to do that. So it seems like drafting
Not without moving Russ, no.
not without moving or cutting Russ.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. You ready to do your power rankings?
Yeah, I mean, this week was a little rough, to be honest, actually.
Yeah, it really was.
I don't like my rankings either, by the way. I don't like them at all.
I don't either. I don't like mine, but here they are.
All right. Do you want to go or you want me to go?
I'll start.
All right.
Number 10, Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, fair enough.
I literally don't have a reason to not put them here. I think they're still one of the better teams in the NFC. And there's so many other teams that have just dropped out because of poor weeks and everything else that, okay, here you go.
You had a bye. I guess you pass.
I
Good
guess
job.
you passed. You didn't fail like the Titans did.
Oh, true. All right. Fair enough. For my 10th, I got the Browns. The Browns just managed to squeak into my top 10, just barely. Mostly because Myles Garrett, and that's the only reason why.
Which is why I have the Browns at 9.
You know what's going to be really funny, Matt?
You have the Cowboys
I
at
have
9?
the Cowboys at 9. Same reason.
About the same reason, too, right?
Same reason. Just happened to not play and didn't lose. So there you go. You managed to stay in my top 10.
Number 8, the Lions. Look.
Ooh, I didn't drop them quite that far, but I understand it.
You took a precipitous fall. You lost 38-6. Yeah, you were going to fall. Out of all the teams that lost in the top 10, yours was the worst.
That was pretty bad. All right. Well, for my number 8, it's another team that was pretty high up before, and they seem to like to yo-yo in my top 10, so they're back down again. Number 8, the Bills. Welcome back to the lower half of the top 10 again. How are you doing? You know why you're here. We don't need to tell you why.
Number 7.
You lost to the Patriots. Come on.
Number 7, the Bills. For all the same reasons.
Fair enough.
If your number 7 is the Lions, I'm going to die laughing.
It's not. It's
Okay.
not. My number
Well, that
7
would
is
be
the
hilarious.
Dolphins. Yeah, my number 7 is the Dolphins. Again, another team that was higher up on my list. You got smacked. This is now where you belong. Enjoy.
My number 6 is the Fins.
Nice.
So, we're pretty close.
My number 6 is the Lions.
We've just kind of swapped on
We just slowly swapped things around slightly. For all the same reasons. I don't think that dip is big enough to drop them further down, since they were already at number 2 on my list. But this is definitely this is dangerous. You lose another big game like that, you could have dropped really far.
Number 5, the Niners. Look, both of those games were winnable, so you don't take too big a hit. But you got to take a hit for losing to both the Browns and the Vikings.
Yep. My number 5 is the Ravens. Again, they're just above the Lions. They just squeaked out, beating them, obviously. So there you go. They had the only reason they're at 5 and not higher, even though they've stomped the Lions, is just because there are other games that they have been kind of like wishy-washy. So, yeah, they made it to 5. Fair enough.
My number 4, the Jags. You guys are looking pretty good. You guys seem to be rounding into form. You've now won a bunch of games in a row. Keep it up. Keep going.
My number 4 is the 49ers. I mean, you really shouldn't have won those games, or should have lost those games, but here we are.
My number 3 is the Ravens. Look, I get it. I get not having them higher on your end, but with me, I'm kind of happy with what I saw. And I think,
Fair enough.
I think they're starting to find Todd Monken's form on offense. I think they're starting to, the same way I feel like the Vikings defense is clicking into place, I feel like the Ravens offense is starting to click into place.
We'll see. I want to see it another week before I start pushing them up past that 5 spot. So my number 3 is the Jaguars. They've been continuing to win games that like they're not. I wouldn't call them miraculous games or like crazy good games, but they're winning. They're still winning.
My number 2, the Philadelphia Eagles. You went out there, you handled Miami after you lost, and you went out there and you beat a really good Miami team, and you held them to 17 points.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
My number 2 team.
And you get a little boost and a bonus simply for fleecing the Titans again.
True. My number 2 team is also the Eagles, which means we probably had the same number 1 team.
The Kansas City Swifties?
The Kansas City Swifties. Yep. I mean, they just dominated the shit out of the Chargers, too. Like, it was a classic Chiefs game. Like,
yeah.
it was
like
the Chiefs of old.
They found their form again.
Yeah. Now, whether they stay there and the Eagles don't try to push them out, I don't know. We'll see. But we're back to the Chiefs and Eagles being at 1 and 2 again, which makes me feel gross.
Yep. And I feel like the Chiefs are again going to the Super Bowl and probably going to win.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if the Jags or Eagles have anything to say about that, but or Lions for that matter. But at this rate, it's certainly looking that way. Though AFC is pretty tough still, though. Like I mean, you still have the Dolphins, you still have the Bills. Granted, both those teams lost, but we know that they're very good teams. Ravens are even in there too. I mean, that's gonna be. Can you imagine Chiefs Ravens game? That'd be good.
Oh, that's gonna be amazing.
So I think.
And it's coming up too, if I remember right. Or Dolphins. Dolphins and someone.
Yeah,
Ravens and someone coming up in Germany.
Yeah, I think that's in November if I remember. So I mean, yeah, it is what it is. We're
all
here.
right. You ready to choose week 8 picks here?
Fuck no. Week 7 did something I didn't expect, so I don't know what to do with week 8.
I'm in the same boat, man. The first game here makes me go, I don't know what to do with this one.
I don't know what to do with any of these games after what we just did. So,
like the only one I'm sure of is coming up here real quick. Everything else I'm kind of up in the air about.
I guess we'll see.
Bucks at Bills.
I mean, Bills should win that. If they will, I don't know. Bucks didn't look great versus the Falcons. They looked okay. They should have probably won that game though. So I'm gonna go Bills. I think the Bills are just gonna be too hard to stop.
I will take the Bucks. Just because I don't have any faith in the Bills currently.
I have more faith in them than I do the Bucks.
I don't think you're wrong, but at the same time, Vikings at Packers. I think we both know what we're taking here.
Oh yeah, we're taking the Vikings here.
Yeah.
Not after we watched what the Packers just got slacked. So.
Pats at Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Yeah, I agree. Look.
Like, I get it. You had a good game. Do it again, and I'll be impressed. But not against the Dolphins. I don't think you will.
The New York rivalry, the Subway Series, Jets at Giants.
Gross. That's what I call this game, gross. Do we have a coin? I need a coin. Fuck it. I'll choose the Jets on a whim.
I will also go with the Jets. I think I like their defense better.
That's pretty much the only thing I like about the Jets right now is that their defense is better. I like a lot of the weapons they have on offense, but it doesn't matter if you can't throw it to them.
Jags at Steelers.
Just because the Steelers stole that game, I'm going Jags, and I hope they kick the shit out of them.
I'll also take the Jags because I think they're the better team, but that's just me.
I also think they're the better team, but I really want them to kick the shit out of them, too.
Falcons at Titans.
All right, I need another coin. Because we don't even know if Tannehill's playing.
We don't.
Fuck. Falcons, I guess.
And here's the real question: will the Titans be better without him?
I don't know, but I'm going Falcons because I don't know.
I will go Falcons as well.
I just don't know.
I don't know either. Don't know. Texans at Panthers.
Texans. Panthers haven't won a game yet, and Texans are looking way better.
Rams at Cowboys. I agree with you, by the way.
I want the Rams to win that, but we haven't seen the Cowboys in a little bit because they had their bye week, so we don't know what kind of Cowboys team we're going to get. I'm gonna go Rams just for the. I think Cowboys will probably win that, but I'm gonna choose the dark horse in the Rams in this one.
And I will take the Cowboys, even though I really want the Rams to win.
Fair enough.
Fuck the Cowboys.
Agreed.
Saints at Colts.
Based on the way Gardner Minshew played their last game and the way the Saints played their last game, I'm gonna go with the Colts.
I will go with the Saints. Because they got to win one of these.
Do they?
I would hope so. Eagles at Commanders.
Eagles, no question on that one. That's not even...
Yeah, I was going to say.
That should be a blow-up, probably.
Browns at Seahawks.
Who's playing at QB? For the Browns, it seems like it doesn't matter because they just seem to win games even no matter whose QB they play. I'll go Seahawks, I think, on that one, actually.
I will go Browns. This next one, I'm just going to mark us both for the Ravens because it's Ravens at Cardinals.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We all know who's going to win that.
Well, probably going to win that.
Should win that. I'm also going to go ahead and mark us both for the Chiefs because it's Chiefs at Broncos.
Oh, yeah. If the Broncos somehow win that game, I'll probably shit myself.
Bengals at Niners.
So this is tough, right? Because, 49ers just lost back-to-back games, both close wins, or both close losses.
The Bengals are coming off a bye week.
But they did, and the Bengals are coming off a bye week. Maybe, just maybe, Joe Burrow finally had that time to rest his ankle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he'll come back looking good again. He was starting to look good before the bye week, so maybe that extra week will give him enough rest to come in slinging with enough practice as well. Extra practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm actually going to choose the Bengals on this one.
I'm going to go with
it's
the
a dark
Niners.
horse. I was going to say, I admit it's a dark horse.
And the reason why is they're at the Niners. They're coming off two games they should have won. They're going to be mad.
Oh, probably. I don't disagree. That's why I said it's a little bit of a dark horse. I'm going on the, we're going against the mad 49ers and a potential healthy Burrow. Which one wins? Hard to say.
Bears at Chargers.
I can tell you which team should win. Because on paper, the Chargers are so much better.
Yep.
But they somehow still seem to lose games. I think I saw a stat around, doesn't Justin Herbert have, the most fourth quarter losses of any QB now? Or
I think so.
Which is ridiculous, by the way. I want to point that out. That just tells you how close in these games he could be one of the most winning, and instead it's the most losing because the luck keeps going against him, and I don't think that's luck. I think that's Brandon Staley being Brandon Staley. Now, will they lose to the Bears though? It's the Bears. But the Bears did just beat the Raiders. But the Raiders are the Raiders. So, but the Chargers, the Chargers. So it's Bears curse, Chargers curse. Which one is more powerful? Do we know if Fields is coming back to play?
We don't.
So I'm going to go off the idea that the Chargers defense is supposed to be pretty good. They did get blown up by the Chiefs, but that is the Chiefs. And I think the Chargers defense is definitely better than the Raiders defense, no questions. So I think the game will be closer. I'm going to go with Chargers on that one. The Chargers should win that. Yeah, if the Bears win that one, the Chargers are. I'm like gonna have to stop picking Chargers forever, pretty much. Like
I'm gonna have to take the Bears.
Like if the Chargers lose this, I'm gonna have to like stop picking the Chargers because like this is ridiculous.
Raiders at Lions.
Fuck, it's not the Raiders though. It's definitely the Lions. Like this.
Yeah.
Unless the Lions play like old Lions, there's no way they lose this game.
Unless the Lions turn back into the old Lions again, there's no way they lose that game. No.
God no.
God's no. All right, so we're locked in on week 8. Now, this week I have the first segment for you guys of NHL Power Rankings. We've only had between 5 and 6 games, some teams as little as 4, but I feel as though I've seen enough hockey and kept up with enough that I can give you a pretty accurate power rankings at this time. So, Chris does not have this because Chris doesn't follow regular season hockey.
Nope.
So this is just my opinion on this, and it's only a top 10 list. I'm not going to give you all the teams in the NHL right now because that would get boring pretty fast.
There's a lot of teams, yeah.
If you want to watch an all, and somebody who actually does math and tries to work things out and give games weight, go watch The Hockey Guy. He does one every Saturday. He usually posts Sunday morning for us because he's out in Vancouver. But, definitely go watch The Hockey Guy. It's literally THG, The Hockey Guy on YouTube. He doesn't pay us to promote him or anything, but yeah. All right, so my number 10 team, the Arizona Coyotes.
That's a little weird.
It is, because they are currently 3-2-0 with 6 points, and they are a +4 in goals for.
I can't imagine that's going to last long.
I don't know. Arizona, I think, is a lot better this year than they have been ever.
Fair.
A lot of their young stars are finally up and starting to make a difference, like Logan Cooley and a few other guys. And Karel Vejmelka is a really good goalie. So, I don't know, but for right now, it's fun to say. Number 9, the Ottawa Senators, who are currently 3-2-0 with 6 points, and they are +6 in goals for, which again feels weird to say.
A little bit.
Number 8, the Vancouver Canucks, 3-2-0, 6 points, +7 in goals for. Again, feels a little weird because usually Vancouver starts their season as a tire fire.
It's a little weird.
Number 7, the Montreal Canadiens. They are 3-1-1 with 7 points, and they are dead even goals for, goals against. Number 6, the Dallas Stars. 3-0-1, 7 points, +2 in goals for.
Gross.
You ready for the next one that's really weird? And it feels wrong to even say this.
Okay.
Number 5, the Philadelphia Flyers.
It's been a while since I've heard them. Jesus.
3-1-1, 7 points, +3 in goals for. They're playing really well this year, and it's probably because they've got Couturier back. He's been out like the past 2 years with injury, and he's finally back and playing for them, and you can definitively tell the difference with the on-ice product. Number 4, the Detroit Red Wings. Hockeytown, USA is back. They are currently 5-1-0. They have 10 points, and they are +15 in goals for. Yeah, they are ridiculous this season. And if they can keep it up, they're going to make a lot of people go, oh crap, the Yzer plan did work. Number 3, the Boston Bruins. They are 5-0-0 with 10 points and are a +9 in goals for.
Can they just go away?
I thought they'd take a step back this year because the captain retired, and I was like, oh, well, he's gone now. They gave Marchand the C. Bergeron retires, Marchand gets the C, and now he's like serious, like world-destroying Brad Marchand.
Why can't they just fucking go away?
I say that about the top 3 teams, by the way. Number 2, the Colorado Avalanche. 5-0-0, 10 points, +13.
Next, you're going to tell me number 1's Vegas.
Number 1, the Vegas Golden Knights.
Fucking knew it. God damn it.
6-0-0, 12 points, +14 goals for. They are on a tear. Just like, oh, you thought last year was a fluke, huh? Fuck you.
I hate all of those teams. All 3 of those teams.
I do too. You notice that Toronto wasn't on here anywhere.
Surprisingly.
The Rangers weren't on. Toronto has started real sluggish. The Rangers are one of those teams that could have been on here, but with the plus-minus difference, I threw Arizona up here because they had the best plus out of... Because there's a whole swath of teams currently at 3-2. And the Senators and the Coyotes have the best goals for percentage over goals against. So
Gotcha.
That is why some of the other 3-2 teams did not make it on here. However, as the weeks continue, these teams will eventually separate more and more, and we will get definitive top 10ers. But the reason I did this is because I don't get to talk about the Canucks, the Senators, the Coyotes, and the Red Wings, and the Flyers nearly ever when we're talking hockey, because mostly they've sucked. Especially recently. And for all of them to start looking good, I'm happy with that. I hope they can all dethrone the top 3 teams, but I don't think anyone can. Although it would be nice.
Yeah.
So, that is where we are done with the week, as far as I am concerned. Maybe next week or the week after, we will do halfway awards. Just maybe something simple like, who's your offensive player of the year. We might even do, who's your favorite for MVP, who's your favorite for offensive and defensive player of the years, and maybe offensive and defensive rookie of the year. Nothing extravagant like our end of the season awards show. Just something, some simple categories that we can, hey, at the halfway point of the season, what do we think?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, guys. You have anything else, Chris?
Burb.
Hi, Burb. With that being said, I hope everybody has an awesome week out there. If you like what we do, give us a like, give us a subscribe, share us around with your friends. And for Chris and Loki and myself, I wish you all a great week. See you again next week. Peace out, guys and girls.